California's Gold is produced in association with KCET Los Angeles and is seen statewide on California Public Television. This series is endorsed by the California Teachers Association, the California School Boards Association, and the California Library Association. Okay, this is going to be exciting. We are here in Griffith Park on a glorious Sunday morning. Our tour guide is Doug Bingham. Doug, tell everybody exactly where we are and what we're getting ready to see this morning.
Okay, it'll be a pleasure. Actually, this is the Los Angeles Griffith Park, right in the middle of LA, and that's where we chose it because such was a nice local place. This is the Crystal Springs area. And we started this rally in 1972.
A sidecar rally.
Right. I had hair then.
Oh. All right, so we know this thing's been going on for a while. Now let's walk down through here because the stars of this show are the sidecars. And we're always hearing about the motorcycles, but very seldom do the sidecars get the credit I guess you think they deserve. Tell us a little bit about the history of sidecars and why it's important that we celebrate them.
Well, the sidecars started back in the turn of the century when motorcycles. It was very shortly after Harley-Davidson made sidecars, Indian. All the American manufacturers had sidecars. What happened to sidecars originally was that a guy named Henry Ford built this thing called a Model T. The Model T was so cheap, it was like $300 for a Model T. That was the cost of a Harley with a sidecar. What is the family going to ride in? The Model T.
They're going to take the car over the motorcycle.
That's right. So that's what happened with the basic motorcycle industry and the sidecar industry in the early teens and 20s.
So it went downhill right away.
It became more of an enthusiast type of sport.
But what was the sidecar built for in the first place? What would they have been put on the motorcycles for? Why were they even there?
That's a good question. I guess it's, we've often said motorcycling, so many of us who are in it, the camaraderie, the friendship, so it's a family sport. Well, that's true, Hugh, if it's just you and your girlfriend. But then when you and your girlfriend get married, then you have kids. Right. Now what are you going to do with them? Bingo, sidecar. And the nice thing about a sidecar rig that most people don't know is you do not need a motorcycle license to operate a sidecar in California because it drives like an automobile.
Wait a minute, what are you saying? That it's not a motorcycle license?
No, you have to have a motorcycle license on the bike, but you do not need the motorcycle license to operate it if it has a sidecar. Because it doesn't lean anymore. It steers like a little car.
Now look at this. What's the story on this? Look at this. Tell us a little bit about it. This is very, very interesting.
Well, this is a 1959 Sears Allstate. It has a 1957 sidecar. It's essentially a Vespa. So what Sears did in the 50s is they brought in a whole bunch of Vespas and they took out the Vespa logo and they put in an Allstate badge and sold them through the catalog. So this is one of those bikes.
This is a bike where the sidecar is actually as big as the bike itself.
Just about, yeah.
Is there enough power? Do you have to have extra power on the bike?
Well,
to when you hook the sidecar on?
Yeah, the engine is pretty strong enough to pull. I pick up my daughters from school in it sometimes.
Boy, I bet they love that.
They absolutely love it. So yeah, it's great. It'll do, like I said, about 40 miles an hour, 40, 45.
Now this is a beaut over here. This is a what year is this? 1915 Indian, so this goes way back.
A long time back there.
And this sidecar was made at the time to go on the side of the bike?
Yeah, it was a $75 option at the time.
Well, it's got a good suspension system to it.
Yeah. Because the front, that bike, this is suspension for the front. Leaf spring. And then there's none on the back.
Boy, this is a beaut. Now, how often do you take this out around town?
We never ride it.
Why not?
It's too pretty.
Now this is a very interesting sidecar. What is the history on this one?
The history on this is my father and I always liked the Ryan ST aircraft from 1937. We wanted to build one, and we decided that he's so old we'd never get it finished. And I didn't have enough money or space to do it, so we decided to build a sidecar, and this is our airplane here.
Well, it looks authentic. It looks like it should have been with this bike.
It we designed it so that it would look like it came from the 30s.
Is this the rule for sidecars, that almost anything goes? You can do whatever you want to?
This is just about the size of it, yeah.
Yeah. How fast do you all go in this thing?
He's headed up to 100.
You're kidding.
And you'd never know it.
And you've been riding in this sidecar at 100 miles an hour?
It's a smooth ride. It's really pretty cool.
Wow.
I don't do it often.
Not very often.
Yeah, I hope not, because the California Highway Patrol might be watching right now. Now, this is very interesting. Tell us, well, first off, introduce yourself to us.
My name is Gerhard Schnurrer.
Good German name, and we're standing in front of a good German BMW bike that looks like, is this a World War II?
World War II. It's a 1942 model R75.
And this was obviously a military. I mean, what were they doing? Just riding down the road with a sidecar with somebody sitting there with a machine gun?
Exactly. Well, these were deployed in Russia and on the Africa front. Rommel had those, and this particular bike was recovered in North Africa. And the North Africa, they had the tan. The desert tan.
So it would fit
color.
right in with
exactly,
the desert.
right.
And would BMW have put their emblem right there just
yes,
like this?
Yes, right,
Wow, this is amazing. What kind of shape was it in when you got it?
It was in pretty good shape, actually, because somebody had started to restore before, and then I just continued on it.
Now, this is the strangest one I've seen so far. You're hanging on for dear life up here. What's the deal on this? Because this is different from anything we've seen.
Well, on this is an off-road racing sidecar, and we have to go over bumps and jumps and dirt and turns, and so you have a bit of a different setup from a standard sidecar.
So there are sidecar races, and there has to be, to make it legitimate, there has to be somebody hanging on in the sidecar itself.
That's right. You can't go across the finish line with one guy. You got to have them both on there at the start, and they both got to be there at the finish.
Who came up with this crazy idea?
It's been going since the beginning of motorcycles, and sidecars, I think, for racing became popular from Germany from the war times. A lot of spare.
We just saw those.
And that's where the racing side of things really became more popular in Europe.
Because they went so fast.
They go fast, and there was those old war bikes that people, after the war, they went out and raced around in the backyard, and here we are.
That is amazing. So you would be, how fast would this be going? And you would just be hanging on for dear life up
Well,
here.
I can show you. When you go around the turns, the passenger isn't here just to be a passenger for dead weight. The passenger has to do work. And when you go around a right turn, you actually have to lean.
Oh my
like this.
gosh.
And then when you go on the left side, then you have to lean over here to
That
keep your weight.
is amazing. So there's a whole art to this thing.
There's an art, there's acrobatics. It's quite a workout, and actually for the passenger it's more work than it is for the driver because you're moving around so
Do
much.
that move over here again. That's amazing. Wow. Is there a lot of this going on?
It's more popular in Europe, but there are different types of sidecar racing in the States here, especially in California, and we have a good time doing it.
Is this your perch over here?
This is my home away from home.
So you just get in there.
Get in there, and sometimes I almost fall asleep. It gets so comfortable.
You're kidding.
Really?
Really?
Yes.
So
I don't like to admit it, but sometimes I do.
Wow, this is great.
It's so much fun.
Now, do you get the same sensation that you would get if you were riding a motorcycle? I mean, I haven't ridden one yet. We will before the day's over. What does it feel like in there?
You know, you almost feel like a kid when you're riding your skateboard and your mother tells you, you know, you're supposed to stand on it. You're not supposed to sit on it and ride down a hill, but that's kind of the way it feels. It's very comfortable, very, just fun. It's a lot of fun.
So you're feeling like a big kid now.
Oh, absolutely. Right. Always a big kid.
Put your visor down.
Oh, yes.
Now, we can't go real fast because we got a lot of people, but we'll watch you all riding off into the sunset. Your name is?
Bill Jenks.
And Janice Jenks.
The big kid. Off you go.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Here they go. Head on off.
Bye.
Give us a wave.
There's so many models. I didn't know there were so many choices out here.
Look at this one. Is this yours?
No, I wish it was, but it's
Look
not.
at this. Do you know the story behind this one?
That's a Watsonian. Those are English.
Wow.
I don't own this one.
Look at this one from the front. It's got an amazing look to it.
Yeah, it's really nice. It's the sidecar is set inside the frame, so it's lower, better center of gravity, and it looks really nice too.
Well, let's talk about yours. Is this yours?
Yeah, mine's an old Czechoslovakian Velerex.
Wow. A Czechoslovakian. Now, why would you have a Czechoslovakian? Just because it's...
I like the styling.
Mm-hmm.
They're inexpensive. And they're easier to mount and dismount too.
She's standing in front of her sidecar, and I hear from very reliable sources that you have a specific purpose for having this sidecar on your bike.
Well, yes, I do. I haul my grandkids, my groceries, my mother, and I'm trying to teach my dog to ride in here as well.
So this has, I mean, you didn't just get this for the fun of it, you're actually putting this thing to use.
I do. When I take my grandkids, I try and make sure that they don't sit on the bread when we go to the grocery store. And but I also go on trips with it with groups, and you can haul. It's better than a purse.
Uh-huh.
You can get all kinds of things in there.
How much can you get in here, actually? Can you uncover it here for us? How much room is... Oh, look, she does. This is your purse.
It is, yes. I got it. And I don't even have it full all the way to the end. And there's room in the back, which is just got some sand in there right now for ballast.
We've been all over the state.
So
this
chances are people watching this program have seen you all somewhere.
Waved at us on the freeway. Yes, absolutely.
Do people wave a lot when they see the sidecar?
Constantly. You'll pull up next to an SUV and the little kids will wave, and Mom will go, "Oh, they're bikers, don't wave at them."
Don't look at them.
Don't look at them. They'll leave us alone.
Yeah,
funny.
you all do look pretty menacing.
Yes, we do.
There she is, sitting aboard the, what is this called?
Towel motor that was used by the Shriners. They used to have a whole fleet of these, and the Shriners did parades and little figure eights in the streets.
I thought they were on those little...
No, they wore the big hats.
But they were on those little go-kart things.
No, they had a whole fleet of these. This is from the early 80s.
Wow.
And rode into parades in them.
How'd you get hold of this?
We bought it from an old Shriner. He happened to advertise it in the paper, and we called, and it had already been sold, and said if he didn't sell it, that we'd be happy to buy it, and he called a week later, and it was ours.
And you kept the signage on the side, so it's all very historic.
It's all very historic.
And how do you feel when you're riding this thing?
With the wind blowing through your hair at 20 miles an hour, it's exhilarating.
Now, I've seen a lot of sidecars today, but I haven't seen any that look like this one. What is the story? What is this called?
Well, this is a custom sidecar made by Doug Bingham, who puts this whole rally on, and this is our Bakersfield fire truck.
Wait a minute, what do you mean?
Well, we've got the fire truck theme going, and this is for our dogs to ride in, and we're from Bakersfield.
So you call it Bakersfield.
Bakersfield.
So is this, oh, it is, it's like a little fire truck. That's amazing. And do the dogs, where do the dogs?
The dogs can ride right in there, and we can open up the top and the back for some ventilation for them.
Can people ride in there as well?
Yes, we have 2 seats in there for humans.
A foxtail on the back of his sidecar here. What's the deal on this one? This is a sporty looking little thing.
Well, it's just something that I put together, was having fun, and
did you make this?
Well, no, I kind of accessorized it more than anything else, and my wife helped me dress up my partner that's riding in the sidecar. My wife won't ride since she works in surgery. This is an old 1980 motivation sidecar on a 1980 Honda, and I've ridden this all over. I took it up to Yellowstone and watched the wildlife up there this summer for about 3 weeks with it. I have my ice chest, and I'm totally self-sufficient, carry all my camping gear, and just kind of tour the country as I have time to do.
Boy, you're just happy as a clam, aren't you?
I am. This is my first time here, and this is quite an experience.
He's getting ready to take off.
Absolutely.
So this is what it's all about.
It's all. I've got another child. It's the only way I can really transport my boys.
See, isn't this amazing? We've heard all these stories,
right,
but it's true, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. But the thing is about him, he's been in this sidecar since he's been about 2 years old, and he doesn't realize that it's a cool, interesting thing to do. I guess he thinks that everybody's dad takes him around in a sidecar.
It's just part of his life.
Exactly, yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
This is Daisy. Daisy,
oh,
say
my.
hi.
This takes the cake right here.
She loves to go on the motorcycle.
Look at this. All right, head on off. We've seen it all now. There they go. Tell us what you've got here. This is a hybrid right here.
Hodgepodge of different stuff. It's like a pile of junk that I put together. I own about 21 motorcycles. So this is a Russian sidecar. It's a Japanese Yamaha motorcycle, an American front end leading link for sidecars, an Italian gas tank, and I don't know, bits and pieces from everything. And I just put it together to play in the desert. There's a class called dual sport sidecars, street legal sidecars that you race in the desert. And we do pretty well. We won a few races with
Now,
this.
how do people get involved? Come on over here with me. How do people get, I assume you were into motorcycles before you were into sidecars.
For reasons that I cannot explain, and I've tried to often, all my life, ever since I was a little kid, I've been fascinated by sidecars. I don't understand it. And none of these guys can really explain it. It's just something you're born with, some deformity or something that you're born with. Little kid, and I'd have these little toy motorcycles and sidecars, and I'd race them through the dirt, you know, and as soon as I could, the moment I got free of my parents and could buy one, I bought one.
Because when you think of motorcycles, you think of macho, fast,
yes,
and I know you go fast.
Well, you can go very fast in these things, but they are very restricting. It's true, because there's certain things. They're not like a car, and they're not like a motorcycle. You steer them like a car, which is the opposite of a bike. On the other hand, a right-hander and a left-hander are totally different experiences, because you're missing a wheel here, see? It's a very strange system, a sidecar. It was really, it came in back when roads were so terrible that two wheels you'd crash all the time. So they put a third wheel on it, you know, to carry somebody. It was cheap transportation. Now it's just sort of a subcultural fascination. I don't know.
It is a subculture,
Yes,
isn't it?
And every year I've been coming to this for at least 25 years. And this is like the high point of the year for everybody like me that loves sidecars.
Now, are these things getting more and more popular?
Well, you know, I think I see a lot more of them than I used to. People love them. When you drive down the street, everybody smiles and laughs and has a wonderful time. It seems like the people that don't like motorcycles like sidecar rides, which is really nice.
Yeah.
It's good publicity for us.
All right, now.
But the reason that I love it is inexplicable to me. I've never figured out why I love them so much. I just do.
Do these things go better on the open road where you're really putting some speed on, or on small little?
I think this kind of speed is perfect for them, actually. And that's part of what happens, that if you love sidecars, you're somebody who's willing to ride a motorcycle slowly. It's very pleasant to just plug along, to bring your family. Kids love them. I have kids and they've always loved them.
Yeah.
So it's more of a family-oriented, easy-going kind of thing to do. It's not about...
basically how it started, isn't it, back in the old days?
Yeah, I think a sidecar originally was created for motorcycles back when roads weren't paved, and it was hard to ride a two-wheel motorcycle, particularly with no suspension. Back then they had no suspension, and they figured out the sidecars were an easy way of not falling down on the dirt roads.
Yeah.
Also, they used to have wheels in the sidecar that you could adjust the track to. So if you were in a dirt road and your bike was too narrow, you'd pull the wheel out until it fit the road.
So the history of sidecars literally goes back to the history of motorcycles.
Yeah, the original ones were little trailers that they pulled with people, and then somebody thought about hooking the trailer to the side of the bicycle with the motor. About 1903 or 4, they were made with wicker baskets.
They were wicker baskets?
The first ones that I'm aware of were wicker work, body work. And they'd they'd weave them together. They were very light, and actually wicker's pretty strong when it's new.
Do these things ever just come detached and kind of take off on their own?
Well, you've seen it in movies many times, all those comedies. Those rigs are actually carefully built to do that. I've had one break right here in the center, and the chair and the bike kind of folded together, but that's the worst I've ever seen.
Because these used to be used in all the old silent movies, kind of the Keystone Cops look.
Absolutely, and look at how much fun. I mean, you can see why, because there's something inherently funny and at the same time kind of dramatic about them. They lend themselves to movies.
Oh my gosh, look at this. Stop a minute, hold on, this is great. A bicycle sidecar.
Yes, sir.
Now, this is a little variation on the theme here today. I thought this was supposed to be for motorcycles.
Well, we're kind of environmentally organized here today.
I got you. So you made this?
No, I bought the sidecar in Myanmar. It used to be called Burma. And I bought the bicycle in Singapore.
Wow. So overseas, especially in places like Malaysia, Burma, there's a lot of sidecars are part of the whole bicycle.
Absolutely, it's the light transportation of Southeast Asia.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, can we see you take off in that thing?
Sure, you bet.
Just did a wheelie.
Yes, sir.
Give us another one as you go down here.
We can do that.
Camera. Let's follow them. Is that fun?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Okay, sit on back.
Hold on.
Here we go.
There they go.
Okay, let me get it. I don't want to run over anybody here.
Oh, you don't want to compete with the motorcycle down there. Okay, here you go.
Okay, you ready? Okay. Hold on.
Oh, look what we got coming here. Boy, you never know what's going to happen at these sidecar rallies. We've heard about dogs riding in these things. It really happens.
Well, normally she wears goggles too, but we're going slow enough she doesn't need them right now.
Now, does she love this?
She adores it. She's been riding here for years.
Really?
Yep.
Is it because of the open air? Is it because of the sound? What is it?
She doesn't want to be left home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look
She's
at
a good
her.
dog.
She's having fun.
She sure is.
Well, sidecars, this is a perfect use for them.
Well, my son's 22, and he's more interested in girls than riding in the sidecar, so I had to find somebody else.
Let's get a shot. Oh, look at this. Oh, my gosh. What's the dog's name?
Sierra.
Sierra. That's a good California name.
Well, we live in California. You got to do something about it.
Can we get a shot of you taking off into the sunset?
Well, it's not going to set for a while, but you sure can.
Your name is?
James.
Nice to meet you, sir.
Nice to meet you.
Here we go, James and Sierra. Come on. Oh, isn't that amazing?
That's great.
Oh my gosh, it never stops. Look at this guy. What's the deal here?
Are we having fun or what? What a wonderful time.
Well, hello, everybody. I'm Huell Hauser, and guess what? It's that time of year again. Time for the annual Sidecar Rally. Now, it takes place on Sunday, November 6th at Griffith Park near the merry-go-round, Lot 2, from 9 to 3. And spectators get in free. What a great, fun way to spend a day with family and friends. And remember, it's all about the sidecars. Well, hello, everybody. I'm Huell Hauser, and I sure hope you enjoyed our sidecar experience. If you'd like to see it again or share it with family or friends, of course, it's available on video cassette and on DVD. All you have to do is call 1-800-266-5727, and we'll be glad to send it to you right away.